going, everybody? So I have this thought in my mind. I've been thinking about how people, the perspective that comes when you get that insight, and you're like, that the lights turn on, everything, the things click that need to click. And it made me really consider like the fact that like I was kind of wrong about the aspects of kind of fixing yourself, because like as far as I'm understanding it, therapy takes a long time, and therapy, they train you to fix your problems the immediate ones as you see, but they might fix it within that longer time frame. But it'll take you to actually finally have the lights come on and like get it, you know. And it's one thing to be like aware and say, hey, this problem needs to be fixed. It's another way like where you just don't have that awareness, the insight, and you're like, dang, you don't know you have to change in that aspect or in that severity. But then when you do, when the lights come on, you're like, oh shoot, that's right, that makes sense. It makes things a lot more easier to work with. And so I don't know, it made me think about myself, just like, and how I was very pro like self-help, and I have my own problems, don't get me wrong. I still have things I have to work on. I was very pro self-help, and I was like, you know, you gotta work, you gotta put in your work, your effort, and you know, you can't just slouch around. You got to put in the work. You know, sometimes it's just about knowledge, but sometimes it's not just about knowledge. Sometimes it's just about you personally understanding like why you're in that state you're in, and it's got to be up to you to come to that conclusion, that realization, that understanding, for things to just come and like, just like, oh shoot, no, you're right, this all makes sense now. You know, all the stuff I've been doing, it's like, it reminds me of character development in like movies and such, where you see the character. It reminds me sort of I'm thinking Nightcrawler, but that's not the one. Renegade Cut did this video how this American dude, white guy, he was like this, he was pretty much like kind of, what do you call it, not disenfranchised, not disingenuous. He had this sense of like feeling wrong. And eventually, by the end of the movie, he realized like he was a villain. He was the villain character, and he, you know, the video was more so like a take on the general consensus, the general idea. It's almost like also like American History X, where they just had this sense that like they were wrong until like something like contradictions start popping up, and they're like, yo, this don't make sense, you know. And then eventually it clicks. It's like, you know, yo, for some reason, you know, it clicks to them. I'm not too sure as to what clicked between I forget his name. I'm trying not to say Fogel, but the guy who played as Fight Club, but yeah, pretty much I forget his name. But I'm not sure what was their realization, but I think our personal realization will take time. It's just gonna take time. A lot of work. It didn't, like, for me, I had to realize my own faults, you know, the shortcomings in my mind, despite my convictions and desires to do right and see my wrongs. I don't even see fully my wrongs. I'm aware of them like up front, but I don't really know them like at a deep level like that. And so it's no excuse to just keep doing it, you know. Sometimes, sorry, yeah, my bad. I actually drove in front of his buddy, just turning. But I'm like, I'm just gonna be, I mean, not so much be impulsive. I was just like, it's either put the brain power to stop or just keep going. So I just end up keep going. So not my most moral moment at the moment, which is not great. But I did what I did, unfortunately. I guess. So I see the dude, he went around and he just like, instead of just crossing the street, perpendicular. He just kind of like did this long angle. He like, I was like, which reminds me, another thing is that we don't for real know. I don't think we know for sure stuff sometimes. You know, we don't really, we're not as smart as we think we are. I think that's the word. We're not as smart as we think we are. And I think for myself, I had to learn that, and I'm having to learn that, is that I'm not as smart as I think I am. You know, I've made plenty of wrongs in the mindset. Now, mind you, maybe other people seen my wrongs and they just didn't tell me, but I didn't see them for a long time, and I don't really know what I'm doing, like corrective behavior I'm gonna have to do, but I'm just gonna have to attack them when I see them. You know, take them one step at a time as I see it. And so I guess that's it. Just mind your blind spots, and you know, you'll eventually see. You just you know, yes, be responsible and stuff, but sometimes the lights don't turn on until like some random point. Like C.S. Lewis, he became a Christian during a drive. Nobody was anticipating, yo, we just, here's how we're gonna save this guy. Just take him on a drive. The thing is just like, it makes perfect sense why people have these perceptions that, like, you know, that guy says to do something and we're like, it don't make sense. It's just like, because God knows our blind spots and knows just beyond us, you know, and things that change us might be just the most insignificant things, but sometimes we just take that thing during a long period of time of you hitting a wall for you to see your faults. So I was gonna dub this title "Mind Your Blind Spots," but I might just say it's gonna take time.